kind of come in. So first off, guys, Cody Lingelbach with Courier Graphics. I'm the Director of Sales here. So welcome to the Courier Graphics Fold-Tastic webinar. So we're gonna have a blast with Trish today. We're gonna learn about all kinds of cool folds and see what we're gonna make happen. So a few things that I wanna run through is housekeeping. So I'm gonna keep everybody on mute, just to keep it easy. That way there's not a bunch of bouncing back and forth of videos, keep it simple. But one thing I do want you to do is use that cool little chat box down below and ask questions, as many questions as you can. That way we can transfer them over to Trish. I'll chime in. She's super excited about getting cut off every 5 minutes. So make sure to have some good questions going. Should be wonderful. And then a few other things too. We have resources that we'll talk about throughout the webinar. And then at the end, we'll kind of work on how those will get released out. I think one of the things I wanted to bring up too is I know all of you who are here have had the opportunity to either read through and or jump on some of our different pieces for Marketing Forward. So thank you for being advocates for that, for learning. Hopefully it's been something that's been useful for you guys, and we get to do cool stuff like this. And then as things kind of settle down, if you guys look behind me, we're in a sample room here. Some of you have been here, some of you are new to Courier and maybe haven't, but one of the fun things that we do is we love to have our family come in and grab samples. We have big bags that you can convert into masks later on if you want to, but you can fill them up with different gear, different folds, different finishes, so you guys can just kind of expand your mindset on what you're doing. So let's dive into that. So without further ado, I give you Miss Trish with the Foldfactory. Give me one sec, Trish, to flip this 100% to you. That's my screen. There we go. Maybe. Oh, see, this is just technical difficulties at the beginning. Where is your drop? And all you, Trish.
All right, thanks, Cody. Hey, can I come raid that sample department at some point? Because that looks pretty impressive.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Well, welcome everyone, and welcome to my in-home studio in Maryland. I actually thought it might be fun at first to give you just a little peek, a little inside scoop on where I do a lot of my work, a lot of my video work for the Foldfactory channel. And so I'm going to take you on just a little tour of my studio. So I'm going this way. This is where I shoot Fold of the Week. If you watch Fold of the Week, it's on YouTube, youtube.com/Foldfactory, and there's over 500 episodes. I think this week was episode 516. So this is actually, I shoot with a tripod. So this is my tripod and camera and a shotgun mic. And over here is my reflector. I have a light that hits a reflector, and then I sit at this table with my chair and my famous fake plant over here. And then we'll pan this way, and you can see that this is where I do all of my video and stills for what I call Magic Hands videos. So if you check out our YouTube, and it's the hands that open up and fold things and unfold them. So everything is shot down on this table. So this is where I do a lot of my work. I just thought you guys might like to get a little sneak peek of my studio. So as Cody said, I've got a lot to share with everybody today. And if you do watch my video series, I show kind of the full spectrum. I show everything from what I call low budget wonders to high budget things as well. And I'm really going to focus in the more practical but still very creative low budget wonders, things to get everybody to help them with jump starting their mail and marketing campaigns in the coming months. So I've got lots to show you, and there's nothing that I'm going to show you that Courier can't do for you. So, think about it. Also, this is getting recorded. So, don't take lots of notes and draw pictures. Like, you will get to revisit this content. So just watch, enjoy. Please feel free to ask questions in the chat, and I will, answer them as we go as well. I really like that. It's fun. We're live on Zoom, so let's have a conversation, which will be fun. I also wanted to mention that courtesy of Courier Graphics, at the end of this video, 2 lucky attendees will get a Fold of the Week Foldfactory shirt. And these are just some samples, but It's going to be a surprise what you get and what color, but it will be in your size, of course. Your rep will reach out to get your size. But anyway, hang out till the end and we'll announce those winners as well, just for something fun. So, okay, I've got a lot of great things to show you. So let's get started. I'm going to start with actually some of the simplest mail formats, and but these are just creative. And so I'm going to start with this one. This one's for Target. And what I like about this one is it's really just kind of a billboard format. This is a self-mailing piece, but it has a curve right here. And it opens up like this. So this was glued down, of course, for mail. But then it opens like this. And one, you get a really nice shape. But secondly, you get this kind of long horizontal layout that's really nice, and a bold message. It's simple, but it's fun to open, and it's not just a classic card, format. It's got this nice open, and I really like the die cut there. This one, for anybody who's doing higher ed, this is a nice higher ed piece. I also think this concept could be, used for lots of other verticals as well. But so this was also a self-mailer, and this one takes that concept that I just showed you and kind of takes it one step further. So this one also has a little shaped flap, but this is their little Viking from their sports program. And then it opens up like this. So you've got one additional fold. So this one has one more fold. You get this nice long, horizontal layout, which is unusual and kind of unexpected. They also used I also love that I hope you can see it in here, but they used a pop of fluorescent orange. And I don't think that we use kind of little special pops of, fluorescent Pantones, or, maybe it's a metallic ink, maybe something like that. Just those little details can make a huge difference. And it just gives this piece a lot of pop. And then this folds over. So this was, of course, glued.
Trish, question for you.
Yeah,
What's
sure.
your favorite Pantone color that pops?
Oh boy. You know what? I am an orange. I like all oranges. Like orange is my thing. So I do love a neon orange, but also just what would be I think 1665, I want to say, is a pretty bright orange.
Yeah, it's a heavy orange. It's almost like the Broncos orange, the good teams,
Yeah, I love orange. So that's my personal preference. But yeah, and then I love a neon orange. Yeah, great question. What's yours?
Purple. Royalty, baby.
All right, next up, this is a large card kind of billboard format. And what's neat about this one is it has, you can see here, there's actually a little plastic ruler that's adhered to it, and you peel it off. So really, really cool, and just simple in the sense that it's kind of that lumpy mail strategy. But yeah, this one did, because it had the little ruler on it, this did mail in a clear envelope because they wanted to see the address through it. But anyway, I like the simplicity of this. It's just a card with a little mounted ruler that you peel off. So you're giving people something to do. It's just a simple strategy that's nice. And
I got a question that came in, Trish, and you're a specialist in this. So what does self-mailer mean?
Sure, that's a great question. Okay, so self-mailer means it can mail without an envelope. So it meets USPS postal requirements, proportion and fold placement, stuff like that, if it has a fold placement, proportion, sometimes tabbing or glue. It really depends on what you're sending, but it can go through the mail without a protective envelope. So you can really save on not having the envelope, and sometimes, having a folded self-mailer can be a really nice way to get attention. And so there's kind of I'm going to show you a real range today of different folded self-mailers. And then another thing to note is that just because something could self-mail or mail without the protective envelope, sometimes it's a kind of a marketing decision to choose to put it in an envelope. So sometimes it's a marketing decision, sometimes it's a budget decision, sometimes it's a postage requirements decision. Lots of different ways or reasons why you might choose one or the other, but so it kind of depends on what your strategy is. But yeah, so some different formats, and actually a lot of formats meet the requirements to mail without an envelope. So, and I'll try to identify them as I go here too. Here's another self mailer. So this is a folded self mailer. This piece was actually, I've had this one for a while, but it was a very, very successful campaign for Netflix, and I love its simplicity. And so this one just never gets old for me. So this one was a folded self mailer, mailing panel back here. Think of this as two panels glued together, okay? And it's glued together around the edges, and it says, look inside to give your friends and family free movies, lift here. And what it is it's got a perf, and this is basically just a flap that you peel up. And so, yes, could this have been two panels tabbed together? Absolutely. But what was neat was they glued them down and gave people a more interesting way to get inside the piece. And so one of the things when you're thinking about engagement strategy with mail is how do you get people engaged? You know, and when they're opening this, there's kind of a curiosity element. There's a, you know, you're figuring it out, you're opening it, it makes a, you know, it makes a little noise because there's that little rip noise that a perf makes that's satisfying. You know, this one also has little cards to peel off. Not a requirement, but it's neat, you know, to have something for people to take or, you know, hang on to. But from a production standpoint, very simple. And also from a mailing standpoint. So this one, let's take that concept and let's expand on it a little bit. So this piece was actually a door drop, not a mailer. However, the concept completely applies itself to mail, and this could be a self-mailing piece, absolutely. So this one, so you could have a mailing panel back here with the fold at the bottom, okay? But this piece opened up, it was about getting people to go to a booth at a trade show. And so I already peeled these, but you get the idea. It has these little peekaboo panels that peel up and open, and either are question and answers or little peekaboo reveals, you know, branding messages, things like that, imagery. And so think of this as like a trifold, where the fold-in panel folds up and is glued down. And then just the areas that aren't glued are just the areas that you release. So simple, just perf, glue, fold down, and mail. And just you've given people something interesting to do and a way to get engaged in your content. This one's neat because this does what I like to call an image trick. And when people ask me for creative strategies that are low budget, one of my first things that I suggest is an image trick, which is basically making images interact with each other in a, you know, exciting or distracting way. So this piece is just a rectangle. It's two rectangles with one eyelet at the top that's kind of got them together. So you create kind of a hinge, right? And so this piece did mail in an envelope. But what's most important is what's going on with the image trick. Fun times are brewing at Eagles Trace. Turn this bottle upside down. And so when you've turned the bottle upside down, that person is pouring themselves a glass of beer. And so it makes you kind of think, okay, this is literally two rectangles and an eyelet. And yet, you know, this went into an envelope. This was an event invitation, but it makes you kind of think, I mean, whether you're B2B or B2C, what images could we have interact with each other? It's such a simple concept. You don't have to do it with an eyelet. You could do it with a fold that reveals something, a zip strip, which is like a paper zipper to zip open, could zip and reveal a message. You can do lots of different things with imagery and with different reveals. So I like that one. I also, when we're talking about kind of rethinking our mail, and I don't want to skip, even though I've got a lot of formats for you today, kind of just the classic letter mailer can be incredibly effective. This one I'm showing though because it does a particularly good job of leveraging the envelope plus its contents. And you know, remember, the most expensive piece of mail is the one that doesn't get opened. So think about that. I think a lot of times the envelope is ignored in the process. So this piece was for the Y, and this is a fundraising piece. And so they've got a beautiful shot of the kids, and they're, you know, making eye contact. People connect with people. Think of it kind of that whole psychological thing that's going on here. They're already starting to leverage it. Push What's Possible as their campaign. Then you open it up. It has Push What's Possible on their, you know, response envelope. But then the letter also is full color. It's got a photo of a family that you would be helping. It's got a tear-off response mechanism. It says Push What's Possible on the back. You know, sometimes we just forget about the back of the letter. We forget about, you know, maybe putting a color photo, adding color. Personalization is huge with getting people engaged in relevant content. So even just something this simple, done really well, can be incredibly effective. So I just didn't want us to kind of overlook that, because these you know, the written word is the most powerful driver of response. So even just a really well written letter that's presented really well can be very, very effective. So one of my favorite categories to talk about when we're really thinking about how to get people to part with their money. I mean, right, we're trying to get people to move, buy, you know, do something. And so gift cards, coupons, you know, different things like that, just a way to kind of motivate people toward a sale can be a really powerful driver. So I have a bunch of different coupon and gift card formats that I want to share. I thought you guys would really like these, and they're almost all of them are actually very simple. So this one I love. This is a little folded self mailer. Okay, just very small. It's cute. This was for Tommy Hilfiger, and it opens like this. I'm going to put it really close to the camera because I want you to see this. This is a little folded, like 1-inch flap. And then they've also got this attached to it, this coupon. And so they basically stripped away the rest of the panel. So think of this like a trifold where the rest of the panel's stripped away and the bottom is glued like this. And then the gift card is free to grab, which is really neat. They've got a perf right here. And so, you know, part of the battle is getting people to get the coupon out. So 3 sides are already out, like just finish pulling it. I also think from a design perspective, they were smart to do large image, bold graphic here. Your eye just goes there. But I love that it also has a little touch of lift when you open it, that little bit of dimension. It just made it easy on people. So now I'm going to take this concept and let's take it. This is the same concept except with a double card, a little bigger. So this one is also still Tommy Hilfiger. Now they've made it look more like an envelope mailer. Opens like this, down, and then they have 2 cards. So see your little flap right here that's glued down, and now you've got 2 cards right here. So they just did a little bit bigger size, added a flap so that it felt more like a holiday. This was a holiday one, so it feels a little more like a holiday mailing, which is really nice. So isn't that great? Simple, simple, simple. Okay, so I love this one. I love all of them, so I don't know. But this one I love because this was M&T Bank. This one doesn't even have gluing. Okay, so this one is a folded self mailer. Here's a cover. Opens up like this, and look, here's the coupon. And watch this. It's literally just a double parallel fold. And what I think is so brilliant about this one in particular is that you have to put your hand on the coupon to open the piece. So you're already there, just tear off the coupon. And they've got the other 3 sides off, and it's just got the perf right here. So this is a very, very simple folding style. Double parallel, little coupon, and I like that it's a little bit loose. It's got some dimension. So simple and brilliant, and yet it's really just saying, here, take your coupon. So now, Yes.
Trish, was that one set up as a self-mailer, or was that just a handout?
This one,
Yeah.
self-mailer, fugitive glued shut.
Yep.
Yep. And there's the mailing panel, fold at the bottom, cover this way.
Super
Yeah.
fun.
Isn't that great?
Yeah, it's cool.
Just brilliant and easy breezy. And I could see this done in other proportions, bigger coupon, you know what I mean? Like you could do, you know, like a membership card, you know, you could do like a magic ticket to an event, you know, you could do something really fun with it. I just think there's so many ways to leverage that. Here's another one using a double parallel, but in a little bit different way. So now take that concept. We're building on our concepts here. Okay, so this is also a folded self-mailer, mailing panel, fold at the bottom, cover here. Okay, this is for justice. So they have girls, like young tweens in teen clothes and stuff. So anyway, opens up like this. Now, you can see here's my little kind of double parallel short flap, but what they did is they did a die cut that says Live Justice. And so you can see, I'm trying to kind of show you that's totally cut out. They mounted the coupons here to peel off and tear off. There's 3 right here. So they mounted those, you peel them off. So this draws your eye there, but then you open it up like this for the reveal of the clothing and all the merchandise and stuff. So what I think is really neat is it kind of simplifies a big kind of challenge, or, you know, when you're choosing formats, is thinking about how you want people to experience the content, how you want to walk them through it. And what I like is you kind of, they're creating different kind of vignettes or, you know, places for people to look. And they've just created this hot spot to look at. And then you use this and hang on to it to open it up. And it just becomes this kind of focal point you pull, and then you've got all the content down here. So just smart the way that it works and pretty unexpected. This is a Tommy Bahama piece. I'm a huge fan of Tommy Bahama. I like their clothes anyway and all their stuff. But I also, they have just, their brand is really strong, the way they pull all their, you know, prints and things through to their graphics for mail. I mean, you're definitely going to open this first if you get it. I love that they made this. It looks exactly like a square flap envelope, but when you open, it's even got the little taper on the flap, so it looks like an envelope, but when you open it up, there's a gift card, and I want to show you how this works. This is a little frame, and it's framing. That's a plastic gift card. And so the frame basically there's just like, you know, light tack fugitive glue here, so people can pull it down and get their gift card, but it's kind of framing it and holding it in. And then it just folds up. It's so simple, and yet it looks fancy and there. And I do like that they use the plastic gift card. It's just feels like a really nice quality. So now I'm going to take, this is also a Tommy Bahama, and I wanted to share this one because it's neat how they shake up their mail. I think sometimes, you know, they still keep their brand going, but they shake it up. And, you know that you're getting something completely different than this. This one is all pineapples and flamingos, but this is an actual envelope. And it says, and the award goes to you. And I do like also the message on the flap of the envelope. I think a lot of times we're not thinking about, you know, look, that's where the flap is, that's where people open it. You know, think about maybe putting a message on the envelope, using the back of the envelope. A lot of times we use the front, we don't use the back. You know, so something to think about. Also something to think about, by the way, it just kind of popped into my head, is the USPS informed delivery, the email that comes and shows you what you're going to get in the mail. They always scan the address side. So something to think about, if they of course they do offer marketers campaigns and stuff, but also if you don't do a campaign, think about what you're featuring on the cover of the envelope where the address is, because that gets scanned and people can get a preview of it in their email. So something to think about. Okay, so this opens up, and what is neat about this is they got this fun envelope, and then all this is a card similar to what, you know, single sheet, and then they've mounted the plastic card on the back with the offer. And it's just simple and nice. And they've got their bold graphics and they just carry it through. But I love the idea that they've really just made a carrier. It's very simple, rectangular, single sheet carrier, and mounted this nice gift card on and just kept it simple. So I like that they kind of vary the way they're delivering this to people, you know. And then this one, if anybody's got maybe catalog contents, things like that, I love this one. This was Ann Taylor. This is a booklet mailer. So this did self-mail. This is stitched at the bottom. So there's 2 stitches, fold down here. But what's really, really nice is when you open this little short cover, I love the inline, the registration is really, really nice on it. But then you open it and the gift card, it's like a thick, really thick cardstock. It's very nice. It's on the inside of this flap. So it's like the first thing you see when you open it. And the other thing, just the designer in me can't help but to point out this really smart design decision. She's looking right there. And as humans, we look where she looks and we go right there. And then this piece opens up and it just has some, I mean, they did some short pages. It's very, very nice. But this has another 8 pages on the inside of clothing. But I love the idea of the booklet with, basically it's a 6-page cover where this last panel is short, and then they mount the gift card there and fold it over. So I love that. And then this one's a little more fun. You're actually going to get the die line for this in a male-friendly proportion. This one in particular is a little square. You're going to get a male-friendly version of this. But I think it's really worth showing. So, okay, so this one, it's simple, it's little, and when you, oh, oops, I had untaped it so that I could take it apart for everybody, sorry. Okay, so when you open it, watch, it basically pops into shape, and this pops out. So basically what's happening, I'm just gonna, I specifically took it apart for you guys so you could see that there's 1 score off the cover, 2 scores that are about a 1/2 inch apart, and then there's this little angled guy here, that's your pop-up, and then there's a flap down here. So watch this, this tucks in. As I said, you'll get the die, don't worry. And then this folds in, and this flap gets the glue. And so when you close the cover, it attaches to the glue. And so when you open the piece, it pulls and activates those scores. And that's how this angle comes up. So I have another one, just so you guys can see kind of the variations on it. And I didn't pull this one apart, so it's going to work a lot better. But this one was for a law firm, and they just duplicated it. They did top and bottom, and that's paperwork coming out. I've seen this done with coupons, gift cards, business cards that pop up. And yet it's just a simple, small, but dimensional piece. And you just get this really fun effect from it. So I thought that one was worth showing too. Just super fun. Okay, so this one I wanted to share because a lot of times when we're designing, you know, sometimes we kind of psych ourselves out of, you know, getting maybe doing a die cut, or, you know, just assuming, oh, you know, that's just, we don't need the extra expense or whatever. But sometimes too, you can use a format that then you get a lot of mileage out of in lots of other applications. It's also, I would also advise you to check in with Courier Graphics. If you have an idea, they might already have a die, and I call them pre-enjoyed dies, but you might already have a die that you could get the benefit of. So always worth asking before you kind of rule something out. But this one is great. This is for MGM National Harbor. And this format they use, they've told me that they use this for so many things because it's a very effective format, but also it is so simple. And that's what I love about this. So this one they mailed this one in a number 10, like a pearlescent envelope, just to make it feel special. And so this piece opens like this, simple and easy. I like the horizontal, but then it folds down just once like this. So this creates what's called an L cross. It's a relative of an iron cross. If you watch Fold of the Week, it's that kind of plus shape format. There's lots of variations on this. There's the L-shaped ones, L crosses, T crosses make a T shape. So anyway, what's really nice about this is you can control, we were talking about kind of that control of the reveal of the information. So what's really nice is they start with a message, simple, dry your eye here, fold it down, and now you've got, you know, the logos and the details and all of that stuff. So, and they were telling me that they use this die for so many things because the format is so versatile. So I love this one for that. And I also love, you'll notice with the exception of just that one kind of square pop-up that I just showed you that you're going to get the male-friendly version, I'm showing you male-friendly proportions today. I really believe in what I like to call a splurge-save scenario where, you know, sometimes you can splurge on a specialty format, but to create it in a male-friendly proportion so that you splurge on the format, save on the postage. I don't believe that you should pay any more on postage than you need to. And so part of what I'm showing you guys improving today is that, you know, even specialty formats can be in male-friendly proportions. They don't have to be in squares and things like that. So anyway, perfect number 10 envelope size right here, and yet a great format. This one is another number 10. This one was designed not only for the mail, but also in a literature holder. So kind of a standard literature holder. This was for a bank. It's just a fun little welcome to the neighborhood brochure. But what they did took what could have been a super simple, basic type of a brochure and made it really special. So all they did was they created, this was welcome to the neighborhood. So they created this die cut little town, and see how this is just a, by the way, just a double parallel. I feel like double parallel is kind of the theme today. It's such a basic format, but there's a lot you can do with it. So this is just a double parallel, as you can see, in half and in half. But what they did is this panel and this, you know, one's a little taller, one's a little shorter, and they created this kind of super cute little town. And it's, you know, very welcoming. And then they've got their, you know, their locations and some intro copy, but just such a cute and simple way to create some dimension and to make it just feel really welcoming and nice. So I thought you'd like that one. This one's also nice. This is another higher ed one. This was also a folded self mailer. And this was glued down. But I hope you can see this on the camera here, but there's little streaks of silver foil that are kind of outlining, and kind of that's the W and the T and foil. And it's just, it's a detail, but it makes it feel really, really special and kind of like, okay, this is going to be nice. It's also got a die cut angle right here, which really focuses on the logo. And then when it opens up, it's a classic roll fold that just rolls down like this. And this is for season tickets for sports events. And the other thing, by the way, that I think is nice is just this really nice design on working the angles and the imagery, but nicely done. This is perfed down here for response. Just a simple, nice format. So you guys would like that one. Let's see, what do I want to show next? Okay, let's see. So now I'm going to show some things that are for kind of, you know, I know that I've been showing a lot of things that are more like for punchy content, you know, shorter things. I now have some items that have a little bit more text, a little more content, but yet still can really organize things in a really nice way. This one is great. This is a right angle gate fold. So it's a gate fold with an extra fold, and you'll see what I mean, but this can self-mail if it's, you know, the mailing panel this way, but you're gonna get the die or the template for this too. So, okay, open up. And then this, they're using a little visual trick. This has a train on the front. Visual trick, you know, just to get people to open the doors of the train. And then it just opens one more time like this. So it's just a simple gate and then down. Just nice. And I love that you get these kind of, you know, view, and then another view. And so you got a bigger spread here. And this can be done, of course, larger than this. So just a nice
Hey, Trish,
format.
we got a
Yes,
question for you.
sure.
So I know obviously all of these pieces can be ran either digital or offset, right?
Yep.
With the personalization, the digital press will run the personalization inline, where an offset you'll run it static and then send it over to do a digital personalization. With
Yep.
these specific pieces through your customers and your partners, were any of these personalized or are these all static?
No, not all static. Oh goodness, I'd have to kind of hand pick, but a lot of things do have personalization in them.
Okay.
Let's see. I know I've got some. Yeah. So yeah, definitely personalization. Also, I would say kind of imagery relevance as well. It's not always just a name. Like sometimes it's image relevance too. There's so many nice ways to make the content really, appropriate for the person who's getting it. So, I definitely believe in leveraging those different things. And, a lot of times we don't think we have enough data or, information to do it. And one of my favorite stories is actually there was a college that the students did an essay and to get into the school, and what they always write an essay, and so they took all the essays and of the students that were accepted, and they extracted what I would call like a nugget of gold out of each of those kids' essays, and then they sent them back that quote on a big poster for them. And it said, it basically was a wonderful way of saying, we heard what you said. We want you to be a part of our community type of a thing. And it was so well done. They varied the different layouts so that it didn't seem like everybody got the same thing, and every kid had their quote attributed to them. And so sometimes too, just being a little bit creative with the data that we have can be really powerful. So cool. Any other questions come in at the moment, or?
No questions, but Sonia really liked the booklet mailer that you shared. I believe it's the one with the lady's face that had the cool cross.
Leanne Taylor. It's brilliant, isn't it?
Yeah,
that one I just absolutely love.
It's a great
Absolutely love it.
Agreed.
Cool. Good. I'm glad people are seeing things they like. I mean, I love all my samples, and so I'm always like, oh, there's this one, oh, there's that one. I'm happy to hear that people are really getting some good ideas. So that's awesome. I've got some more. So this one is also a self mailer. This one has a little flap, and you open it up, and this is a little wrapped accordion. So this has a really nice reveal. Everybody loves an accordion reveal, but accordion folds can't self-mail unless you wrap a cover and close the edge. So what I love is a wrapped accordion is awesome for mail because you can still get that nice pull out, of an accordion, but then you wrap the edge and close it. And that also applies even if it's not self-mailing, like wrapping it. A regular accordion is notorious for being problematic with auto insertion, things like that. You have to close an edge. So I love the wrapped accordion for lots of reasons. So this is just a really nice little compact wrapped accordion piece. I think you're getting this die line too.
Before you dive into the next one, we got another question.
Sure.
So I really like the L cross piece, the one that's super standard, fold out, drop down, right?
Yes.
He asked, can the fold out part be perforated for multiple coupons? And would the initial be glued?
I love that idea. So meaning making this part kind of a perf and tear off type of a thing?
Yeah, so maybe.
That's brilliant. Absolutely.
Like a T-perf almost.
Yeah.
For the L, it'd be kind of cool. And then
I think so too.
Do you think they glued the initial door down, or do you think they only glued the last door? Right?
Are you talking about this?
Yeah.
So this one did not self-mail. So this one just folded up and over. So this one went right into an envelope.
If it did self-mail, you just glue on that final fold-in tab on the top and send it self-mail. So.
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah. Cool stuff, right? I just can see so many different ways to apply into different channels, like all these formats. This one's great because if we're talking about, so I was just showing you guys a wrapped accordion. This is a wrapped stepped accordion. So we're taking kind of that same concept, except we are stepping. So think of it as the accordion folds, instead of being all in the same like exact distance from each other, start playing with the distance from one to the other. And what you can create is a stepped effect. So this piece, watch, is just an accordion fold, but it's a stepped accordion. So this one's shorter, longer, longer, and longer. And what they did here is, this was a school, private school, and they got all of their course material into this piece. It's an unbelievable amount of content, and yet it just goes, folds up, and like this. I mean, I could see where if you've got, you know, a training session, you know, something like that, and you've got lots of content to work with. There's something really nice about the way this one is set up. So really nice. I think I just saw somebody ask about finish size on this one. Did somebody ask?
Exactly.
Okay, one sec.
I think that'd be fun for me.
Let me measure it for you. I love this live event. This is fun. Okay, 11 and a half by 6. I was going to guess 11 by 6. It's 11 and a half by 6. Pretty cool, right? So I love this one. And now let's take that same kind of stepped concept, but let's do a stitched format instead.
Trish,
was there a question?
Was that last one a self-mailer? The one.
So this one technically has a mailing panel. So I think they left themselves with the opportunity to put a label on it and seal it if they want, but I'm quite certain this one went in an envelope.
And we can absolutely turn it into one. Easy.
Yeah.
Just do a knockout, turn it into self-mailer, fugitive glue it, and send it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep, or tab or whatever. Yep, yeah, it's great stuff. So this one was for Audi, and this one did go in an envelope because they wanted some wow factor. They have a translucent white foil on the top, on the front for the logo. But this is neat because this is also a stepped piece. But all they did here is, this is a 4-pager and this is a 4-pager. But these two panels are the same, cover and back. And then this panel is a little shorter, and this panel is shorter than this one. And so you end up with this little, 8-page, self-cover stepped booklet. And this went into an envelope. So just simple and organized. They used some metallic ink for the tabs. So that's just organized. It's got the different models of the vehicles for the pictures to match. And it's just nice. I don't know. There's something just so nice about that one. This one this one's a folded self-mailer for Minted mailing panel. This piece is more about what I would call a poster fold. It folds into a big poster, but this is neat because, it's Minted. They have all this imagery to work with. And this one, technically it's a broadside double parallel. I'll show it to you, but it opens like this. You've got kind of vignettes of imagery. And then watch, double parallel here. Double parallel opens up. And then it's broadside. So one more fold into a poster. So poster, broadside down, double parallel, and then it basically quarter folds it, down, and then it's just tab, tab, tab. So just nice, and just a great way to send a larger piece, as a folded self-mailer. So, okay, I have a couple more. I think we're doing okay on time here. All right, so I have a few favorites yet to show. Okay, so this one you're also getting the template for. This one's neat, just as a really nice kind of marketing type of a format. This one does not self-mail. This one would need an envelope, or is really nice as like a leave behind, or something you could put in a pocket folder, either way. But this one has a little image that's peeking through. Okay, I'm going to open it up for you. It's a tri-fold in its finished format, but watch. So there's a fold here, and a fold here. So it opens into a poster, but you can play with the depth of that fold, and the other one you can play with what size the image is. I've seen this done as a dust jacket on a book. I've seen it done for maps. I've seen it done for brochures. I've seen this on the inside rather than the outside. Lots of fun things you can do with this, but just kind of a neat, and really all it is, you know, right angle folds. Like it's pretty simple with how it's done. There's no die cutting. So I thought that one was worth showing.
Trish, we do have a question.
Sure.
And you can either field this one or I can. It's up to you.
Okay.
When do you tab versus glue dot?
Okay. So how about this? I'll weigh in, and then I'd love to kind of tag team and you weigh in too. Does that sound good?
Cool. I'm good with it.
A lot of times it has to do with if it's a kind of a multi-page piece versus like if you can take the tabs to close an edge, a lot of times they'll do the tab. You know, you don't want to do it like if it's got a lot of pages or something. Although sometimes you can do a longer, you know, cover and glue that. Sometimes it actually comes down to aesthetics, which you would rather do. Would you rather have a glue edge and have people have that to deal with, or to rip the tabs? But you know, maybe Cody, you can shed some light on that as well.
Yeah, same thing. Aesthetics is a big thing. I would agree. Like some people, like, I don't want the ugly tabs on the front. I want a dot, make it fold out, and just tear the booger off and throw it away.
Yeah.
If you look at that minted piece, the problem with doing a glue dot on that, because the pages back to each other, you would have to do double glue dots in multiple locations. So that's
you have like glue.
And so that's a tab job. The other factor is when you're looking at maybe some simple, like the L fold or something like that, you can do tabs versus glue dot, but a lot of times glue dots can sometimes be less expensive than tabs.
Yeah.
If we're folding in line, and in our opinion, or my opinion, is the glue dot's way more aesthetic than a tab. So we kind of weigh it. I mean, if you're tabbing 300 pieces versus tabbing 100,000 pieces, sometimes if we can run it in line and glue dot it, it's going to be less expensive than if we're going through and tabbing those 100,000 pieces. So kind of weigh it in. If you're looking for something more aesthetically pleasing, go glue dot. If it works, let's do it. And we can work through that anytime. We'll look at it and say, hey, this is what best fits your project, for sure.
Yeah, that's awesome. That was a great question, by the way. Whoever sent that one, thank you, because it is a decision, you know, and it can be sometimes, you know, okay, what do you want to do? Do you want to do one or the other? And sometimes you do have the choice, kind of like even if something could self-mail, you could put it in an envelope sometime. And sometimes you just make a choice based on, can be budget, aesthetics, lots of things. So that's a great question. This is another self-mailer. This one was tabbed, by the way. If I see him, I'll call it out. This one I like because this one was for Volvo. That's the cover, and it's simple. But this is a T-cross. So this one makes a T shape. I love the simplicity of this. It's just a little kind of two short panels. This is a variation of an iron cross. So it makes a T shape, this way, T. But I really like also the way they've got bold statement, you know, intro, large image, and then this one actually is really nice. It says 5 reasons you'll love owning the Volvo XC90. And then you open it and it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like I love how it starts with a statement, tells you what you're gonna get, photo teaser, and then here's your 5 things and an offer. And so it's just smart how it works. And I love how it's mail-friendly proportion, self-mailing. It's just got so many nice features. So this one's great. So taking that kind of, since we're in die cuts at this point, you know, taking that kind of same type of a concept, I just wanted to show you how many different ways you can vary these. So this is where the gate starts on the front, opens like this, and this one's a true iron cross, but it's modified, and then it opens up and down. Again, rectangular format, you know, mail-friendly proportion, and this one does not have a mailing panel. I'm assuming this went into an envelope, but you know, of course, these can all be modified into mail-friendly proportions. You know, so this is pretty neat. So, and a nice reveal. And you can play with the order and the length of the panels. This one is a little folded self mailer. I just thought this one was fun to show you guys. This is technically a hybrid format. This is a mix of an iron cross and an open gate. So it opens up like this, opens down like this, and then it actually has two little open gate panels. I really like the use of the student photos with their testimonials. Testimonials are a great thing to share in mail, and I just thought this was neat how this one worked, and again how it just tucked into a little folded self-mailing format. The fun surprise of that is great. And this one also has a nice surprise. This one is a mail piece that is an iron cross, but they have a window right here. It says success is an attitude, success is a mindset, a decision, a commitment, a promise, and it's got a quote, and then it opens, and this was then accepted, basically to tell students they've been accepted to the university, and then they actually tipped on a vinyl window cling right here. And so it was also just a really nice thing to send to the students, and just cool. And there is a little, I do want to note that there is a little, like a 1/16 of an inch box score, so like two scores that are right next to each other to give it just a touch of depth, because this is on a heavier sheet and they put the vinyl cling in there, so they had to make a little space for that. But anyway, just a cool piece. And I have my last two for everybody, and then we'll open up for any other questions.
Before you go too far in, Trish, I got one. Hold on to your super cool one. So we're asking, are the art templates available if we like one of these that our graphic artists can use?
So you're definitely getting a batch of die lines from your Courier rep. And so we don't have the die lines for absolutely everything, but what I would say is, well, a couple things. One, if you reach out to your rep, we have a great relationship. I mean, if you need me, Cody, to, loan a couple of these formats out or whatever, if you need them to make a specific type of die line, that's completely fine. You're also going to be sending some die lines for a lot of these. And then I'm sure, like Cody, my guess is that you guys have some iron cross dies or die lines also that people might be able to choose from or to modify. What I find with dies is a lot of times people like what they see, but they actually kind of want, we want our box here, or we want a circle instead, or, this kind of serves as the springboard, but oftentimes it's not the absolute final that people use. And so even just kind of rewatching the content or making note of what you liked, and then reaching out to your Courier rep and saying, hey, that thing, I really want it in this size and I want to do that. And, all of these things can be kind of modified from either existing die lines or, used with existing dies. So
yeah, and we can work through and design those too. We can add a die line that can be reproduced and stuff. Piece of cake.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah. Yep. Easy stuff for you guys. So, okay, well, cool. Then I have two more. This one you will get the die line for, by the way. This one is called a traveling snake. This is a self-mailing format. This one in particular went into an envelope, but so it basically, a traveling snake folds are roll folds that can roll kind of in any direction. So this is a traveling snake. You'll see why. It opens like this, and then it rolls down, over, down, and over. It says, here we go. I really like this one. And they also use the layout's just very nice. They use this brick wall, was neat. And so this piece just folds over, up, and closed. So, the specialty formats are for everything, but, sometimes if you're telling the right story, I've seen this done with like storytelling. There's a circus one that I have for a healthcare company, and it was like, this isn't a circus type of thing. And they had the trapeze artists swing down, and, depending on what you're doing, it can be really cool to use something interesting. But again, mail-friendly format, splurge save if you're going to do it. And then this last one I have, this is a folded self-mailer. This one's just particularly fun because this was for a casino. They had fun with the mail panel. They've got this whole kind of superhero theme. And this piece opens up like this, and it has little, I call them violators, but like little kind of guys that are these little graphics. So it's a smash and pow, and then you open them up, and you can see here that there's actually a window with a message through it. This one also has a window with a message through it, and there's some shadow going on. Well, all this is a double parallel. Again, it's kind of our star of the day, is the double parallel. So such a versatile format, but think of it this way. So think of this like a 4-panel double parallel that folds down and in half like this, and then it folds again in half, but they glued only the bottom. And so the rest is loose. And by doing that, that's how you get that little bit of dimension in the window. And then these are just extensions of the page. You know, this is that panel basically. It's just part of the die cut. There's a score there, and they just fold it in. And so it's all one piece. It's just fold it down, glue the bottom, in, and down. So just fun, giving people something to do, dimension, fun theme, engaging. So that's my last one. So with that, I think before I turn it back over to Cody, we should probably, do you want me to announce the shirts, or do you want to do a few more questions?
Anybody have some questions we want to roll into? Ryan says he loves your passion for folds.
Oh, thank you.
Fold-tasticness, right?
Yeah. Well, I appreciate it. I hope everybody got lots of great ideas today. There's so many neat things you can do, and you know, don't have to spend a fortune. You can just do so many neat things that are engaging. So
cool. Any other questions, guys, before we dive in and kind of close everything out? All right, what is the flat size of the 11.5 by 6 mailer?
oh yeah.
Hey, you love that 11.5 by 6.
All right, let's do it. Let's measure it out. Anybody want to guess before I do this? Let's throw some numbers out. Okay.
22 by 6, 12, 18.
Okay.
40.
Ooh. It is 37 and a half.
37.5 by 22, right?
By 11 and a half.
Oh, I thought I'd open up one more.
Yep, so 37 and a half, and then 11 and a half this way.
We can run 2 up on a 38 and a half, so.
Awesome. See, what a great exercise this is. We can do them 2 up totally efficiently. Like, that's awesome.
That's great.
Very cool.
They're coming in. Hold on, I got to back it up. All right, so let's go. Next one is there a specific type of paper that you create the piece with? Like, do you have a favorite paper stock maybe?
Oh, let's see. Well, I gotta say, I mean, I'm a huge, you know, full disclosure, I've been sponsored by Sappy for probably 12 years. They are just hands down my favorite brand. So I love, I love Opus and McCoy and all of those, which are beautiful sheets. I do love a great uncoated sheet. I mean, I think there's so many nice things that can be done. The softness of an uncoated sheet is great. I don't have a particular brand that I would, you know, say is like my #1 standout. I would just say that paper choice makes a gigantic difference in the success of the piece, you know, and it can give a real feeling of, you know, what you're trying to, you know, send as a message. And so I always suggest, you know, a paper dummy, or to ask, you know, ask your Courier rep for some advice, because when something's too weak or too rigid, it's just not the same. You know, you have to definitely get the right weight and texture and everything. Also, what I would say is all the press coatings that can be done now that can make like a regular gloss sheet or something really feel like silk or sand, or, you know, there's just some really, really nice things that can be done with special effects as well. So sometimes if you really love a particular effect or a specialty paper, but you can't afford it in your budget, like they can put a little shimmer on the sheet. They can put a little pop of gloss, you know, a really high gloss, or, a sandy feel or a silky feel, and you can still get that same effect of what you're trying to get if you can't afford the specialty paper. So always ask on that too. There's many different ways to do one thing.
Cool. Gary, I'll answer this question for you. He asked, do you ever consult with USPS to double check? You can answer this too, but I know for Courier, we do every time. Every job that's going in the mail, we make sure that goes over and is 100% approved, because it can go sideways and get really expensive real fast. So
Yes.
that's something that we do.
Yeah, 1,000% agree.
Cool.
Yep.
Here's one for you. Aaron says, could the perfed page or arm from the L or T cross have multiple pieces perfed? This is back to
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yes. So let me find that one.
We can put
so like from this one,
the entire thing.
So like having kind of the panel, like different things perfed on these, or the panels, or is that the question? Am I misunderstanding?
Yeah, exactly. Because you could.
I think you could. I mean, it just. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I was saying you could put a perf across all those panels if you wanted to, for sure.
Absolutely. And I think, and this is something that Courier would know better than I do, but sometimes it's just, you may not want to do a micro perf versus you're going to maybe play with the perforation itself, because if it's too delicate, sometimes a micro perf is too easy and it can get, when it's old, a little bit delicate. So, they'll be the best to guide you on what type of perf, but absolutely. Yeah.
Right, here's a fun question. See what your opinion is on it, because I might have a different one. Greg, is UV old school now?
No. No. UV coatings? No, not
UV
at all.
coating. They pop.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. And actually, I feel like it's more accessible than it used to be. I think there's a lot more different textures and finishes. I feel like over the years, there's been a lot of development in different special effects and things that can be done with UV. I think the versatility is just huge, and the ability to do, all sorts of different effects, like in one pass. I just think there's a lot that has changed. It's become, it used to feel very out of reach, and I think there's a lot more accessibility to it and a lot more that can be done. So no, I'm a huge UV fan. Huge.
Yeah. And there's so many different levels of UV now, where you're running gloss UV versus soft touch UV versus dull UV nowadays UV is not just your glossy UV anymore, and now combining UV with varnishes, we're doing like an overall gloss UV with a dry trap dull varnish, and really making that gloss pop and pushing back other images. Like, it's very versatile and very functional now. So
it really, really is.
Yep. Awesome. I think that's all I got question-wise, Trish. You want to talk some winners?
All right. Let's see here. I have, for the winners, randomly chosen Diana Ruiz and Michael O'Connell. So your Courier rep will be in touch with you to get your sizes, and then you will get a special surprise courtesy of Courier. You're going to get your Fold of the Week shirts. So awesome.
Cool. Thank you so much, Trish. You were incredible. We love that you love all the folds. I think it's awesome.
I do love them all. So I appreciate that you guys have indulged me in this just fun experience. So it was great to be with all of you. I appreciate everybody carving out some time on a Friday to spend with us. So thanks.
And hey, everybody, just to kind of close out on everything, figure I'd give you a couple last things to walk away with. So one is, if you want those templates or you need them now, just email either your sales rep, or you can go info@couriergraphics.com. We have templates and die lines for some of these that we can get out already. If your brain's just going crazy and you have all different kinds of ideas and you want to talk through it, reach out to a rep, or again at info. We'll connect you with somebody and we can work through these different ideas and options. One thing that I want to give you a little teaser on, we're not going to go too far into it, but I'm going to take you for a quick walk. So there's some cool stuff happening over the last couple months, and I know nobody can come here because you guys don't want to mask up and stay at home, but we've been doing some install on some new equipment that we'll be able to make some of these even better. So just a small glimpse. So once everything lifts up and you guys want to dive in and come check out some samples and take a look at what's going on, we'd love to share that. So thank you everybody for your time today. Thank you, Trish, for coming out and doing this for us. I hope everybody enjoyed and got something out of it. And we look forward to serving you guys in the future too. Cool. Have a great day, you guys.
Thanks.